Hello and welcome back to the Tuesday Checklist, our weekly personal list feature where we choose a theme and then each tell a story related to it. This week, thanks to the tense office atmosphere created while Rob and Rosie were making their Crash Team Racing tips video, that theme is perfection. Specifically, those times when only perfection was good enough. Rob's up first with what's basically another supervillain origin story.
So a game I played where only perfection would be good enough. It's a game I've played many times. No one will be surprised. It's Metal Gear Solid 2. And I don't know if you've played Metal Gear Solid 2, but there's like a prologue bit at the beginning.
No, I haven't.
And I used to like going back, after I'd finished the game, I used to like going back and doing just the tanker, because it was a fun little enclosed 2-hour segment of stealthy Metal Gear gameplay. And it got to a point where I would like to play the game. I wanted it to look like a movie. You know, Metal Gear is such a cinematic game anyway. Everything was perfect. And so I had like a specific route to get through this area. And I would even do things that were slightly unnecessary just to make it look a bit cooler. Like for instance, pushing up against certain walls that had good lighting on them, making Snake look around the corner and then coming back in like that. It was like a dance. I'd learnt like a dance through this entire area. And if I got even one bit wrong, so not even like, oh, you've been spotted, start again. It'd be like if I clumsily came away from cover and went like, just made a little bit of a stumble. It's like, well, that didn't look very good then, did it? And have to start again.
How long was the section?
About 2 hours long.
And what happened if you made a mistake of like 1 hour 45?
Oh, I'd just turn it off. If we got past a certain point, I'd be like, well, I'm not playing it today. But yeah, and so I started off, I had to crawl along to the first, there's a little bit of, there's like a little, don't even know what it is, a thing sticking up on the ship with a rope on it, and I push up against that and you get a cool view of a guard going across a balcony on the top with his torchlight shining down. I was like, that looks cool, and the rain's coming down, and I sneak into the next bit, up the stairs, throttle one guard up there, bring him down, throw him overboard, sneak around the bit where the guard was on the balcony, and you just sort of hang off the ledge and watch him go past you. Then you jump back up, throttle him, come down the other side, there's another guard down the bottom, throttle him, throw him in the sea, and then you have to go inside the ship, and you can spam triangle whilst, you know those big bulkhead doors you get on ships where you have to turn them like that to open. Yeah. Like if you mash triangle, Snake does it like and he does it quite quickly, and I just didn't like the way that looked. So I would just hold triangle and Snake would go and I just used to like the way that looked. And then I wouldn't be able to walk down a corridor either. I'd have to hug against the wall and like creep down a corridor like that, even though I knew there were no guards.
Is this
that
actually
would spot
a 20-minute
me in that
section?
vicinity? No, it's 2 hours in total. But when it happened right, it was amazing. It was like watching a movie that you've directed, because Metal Gear Solid 2, like all the other Metal Gears, sets up its camera angles to look cool and cinematic. So when you hug up against a wall, especially against a corner, you get an amazing view down the corridor, and you can make Snake peek around the corner. And I would wait till the guard at the end was just about to turn round, and then I'd let go of peek. So Snake kind of goes back behind the wall just as the guard turns round. So there's like a split, so I nearly get seen, but I just don't.
In another world, Rob, our Christmas Let's Play this year would just be a 2-hour movie making like a perfect bit of this level. That would be brilliant.
Yeah.
I'd watch that.
Oh, it was fun. It
The
was
director's
fun,
commentary as well for New Year's.
Yeah, there'll be lots of swears in it, I'm sure.
And custom-made music to add to the dance.
Maybe, yeah.
My entry's, it's going to be 1.5. Well, not a half, just a little bonus bit. And the bonus bit is every Lego game ever. I've had to stop playing Lego games because only perfection will do in Lego games.
Yay,
As in, I have to capture every little, what are they called? Nubs? What are they called? They've got a name. Studs. Every stud. You know, if you like kill an enemy and some studs fling out and they start flashing.
You gotta run.
If they go, I'm just like, oh, it makes me furious. But my real entry, it's kind of an umbrella, which you could maybe just sum up as Trials games.
Oh no.
The Trials games, and also a special shout out to Urban Trial Freestyle, which I've spoken about before, which is a kind of PS3 and PS Vita Trials-esque game that Nathan and I became obsessed with for about a month. And the very particular thing about these games is not the time trial element as such, not the ghosts, I mean, this is all part of it. This feeds, obviously, like,
the monster.
you want the perfect run. It's two things. First of all, you can really feel what's going on in those games. The bikes have a weight to them, and the fact that you're in charge of the angle of, like, taking off and landing and the suspension, and you can alter your bike and change your bike and, all that kind of stuff. That is one part of it. But the biggest thing that made this really possible, I think, is the fact that, particularly with Urban Trial Freestyle, although it is true of Trials, and I've been playing Trials Rising recently, and I've been bitten by the fever again, is that you can just press a button and instantly restart.
So
you can restart from the checkpoint you've just gone through. I never do that. That's for amateurs. Or you can go instantly back to the start of the level, which is what you must always do, because if you've made a mistake,
You can't get that time
that's
back.
coming with you forever.
Yeah,
So
that time's gone.
it has to be perfect. And occasionally, say there was a kind of a difficult bit right at the start, that I'd know, I've done that wrong. I'd get it wrong 20, 30 times in a row. The 31st time, I'd nail it, but my thumb has learnt now. We do this and we instantly press the button. And the number of times where I'd be like, no thumb! That was the right one! But
Can you
we're back
imagine
again.
How scary it is to be in an office with you screaming at your own thumb.
I know. It's this one. It knows what it did. Those games, they're just like, only perfection will do. And like, yes, there are times, and yes, there are ghosts and leaderboards and beating your friends and all of that, but it makes it so easy, the pursuit of perfection so easy, because there's no time for me to think, should I do something else? It's just like, my thumb's gone, no, you're doing this again. Even when perfection has been achieved, still I'm doing it again.
So a game that I am willing to completely reboot and start again, because it's not because I'm like crazy that it has to be perfect, it's because I feel guilty, and that is Oddworld, which is very suitable for I am wearing an Oddworld top at the moment.
Nice.
But I know, nice. But my problem with Oddworld is, or with any video game, is that I get very attached to characters. So obviously when you're Abe and you're going through the puzzles, when I found like a little slave Mudokan, I want to save him and I'll do everything I can. And if there's like a meat grinder that just goes a bit too quick, or a Slig just manages to shoot my poor little Mudokan in the back, if I see that Mudokan go down, I'm restarting. I am just pausing and I'm going back, and I'm gonna just keep on going again and again and again until I've saved him and he's gone to his home world. Because in Oddworld, you've got like, well, whilst you're going throughout the factory, you've got like a little graph that says how many casualties and how many escapees. If I have one casualty on that, I will feel guilty for days. I feel guilty the whole game thinking about that one that I couldn't save. So, and I'm not having that. I need to have my slate which says escapees and no casualties. So I'll just do it again on all of them, even on Munch's Odyssey, when you've got like these they're like little fuzzles. Have you guys played Munch's Odyssey?
Imagine how confused you'd be if you'd never played any of the Oddworld games and you were hearing all these names.
So here's a fuzzle. But it's like, the fuzzles are like they're these little brown fluff balls, but when they get angry, they've got really angry teeth. And even with one of those, like if I just hear one of them die, I'm just like, nope, rebooting it, I'm not having any of them die. But I still haven't done like the 100% perfect run yet, like even because there are loads of hidden areas. And when you found them, there are even more Mudokons you can save and new things. I've never got every single Mudokan because I just don't know where they all are. And I don't want to look it up because I just don't want to look it up. I need to do a run where I completely 100% it and everything's great and everyone's happy, and at the end I've got the justified little ending cutscene when they go, he did it. I need that completely justified. But if one of them dies, that's it. I'm just like, burr, burr, woof, of the sound effects of the menus.
Imagine if you'd never played this game and you were sat here, perhaps in this room, wondering what the hell was going on.
Is that what you're thinking right now, Nath?
It is, yeah. Oh, also I'm thinking, does this translate into other games? Where is it like a Bioshock?
Anything with cute things.
Anything with anything with anything that makes me happy. To be fair, with Bioshock, I think I was evil once just to try it out, but I didn't save it. I did it just for the trophy, I think it was, and I didn't save it. And because you know when you do a game and you're like, yeah, I did a good run, I'm gonna get a bad run. The only game that I've legit been like, yeah, I'm really gonna get the bad ending is on Heavy Rain, and like killing all the characters, some in jail, some doing this. That's been the only game where I've been like, yeah, look at all these look at these characters having bad things happen to them. Every other game I'm just like, no, I just want good endings. I want to feel good about myself knowing that I haven't killed any characters or creatures or anything in the little gaming world.
So, time for me when only perfection was good enough was during the early days of PlayStation 4, and specifically over one Christmas. I kind of went crazy. The first Christmas that PlayStation 4 was released, and of all the games in that kind of launch window that I became completely attached to, Resogun was the thing Resogun leapt out at me.
I remember this.
I loved Resogun so much. I'd never really, like, thinking back on it now, if you told me, Nath, how do you think your kind of weird stubborn streak would ever go together with like a high score arcade game? I would say I should never play an arcade game focused on high scores because I would lose my life to it. And that's basically what happened, to the point where we've got a video on the channel which I watched to refresh my memory, where I talk for about 15 minutes about things I do not understand anymore. And it wasn't that long ago. It was, I guess, like with talking a bit like you, Dave, with your kind of like restarting. It was like that, where everything had to go completely right. You have like a combo meter on Resogun. The combo like is the most important thing. You keep that going, and if you don't kill anyone for a certain amount of time, it lapses. And there's like loads of little strategies you can do to keep that going. So that's happening the whole time. And then also you can maximize your score by acting in certain ways during the level. So after a while, there are 5 levels on Resogun, and first of all, I was enjoying learning all this. Oh, I'm having a good time. Resogun's a good game, isn't it? Look at the particle effects. Merry Christmas, everybody. It's the first PlayStation 4 Christmas. And then soon it was like, actually, I've done all right here, and like I'm on the leaderboard. And like it's early days of PS4, so probably getting on the leaderboard wasn't that hard, but I was like, top 500. I was like, I'm special. So I kept on going, and I realized that after 3 or 4 levels, I could get like a big enough score that I was like approaching the top 100. And then that's kind of like, there's a point where it tips over from being like, I'm enjoying this game, and every time I play it, it's like I'm learning something or I'm getting further, to suddenly like, I've made a mistake now and I must restart because there's no point in playing this past this point anymore. And like that progressed to the point where...
Human lost.
No, well, that was the other thing about Rosie's entry, where she was like, no Mokudan left behind, and it is advantageous score-wise to save most of the humans, but if one of them needs to die for a strategic reason, that guy's out. You know what I mean? There's no quarter given. I'm sorry, human, you are being taken by that UFO. And weirdly, like the better I got at the game, like in terms of like, I would have a run that would take me the best part of an hour that would get me right the way to the end of the game, and it would be like in the top 100 in the world, and I'd get over 100 million. The more likely it was that I would like miss one of those first few shots that people who were just playing the game for the first time would never even think about. And I'd be like, no, I've got to instantly restart. And the real kind of kicker was that there were other people who were also like good, and there was like people I was like matching scores with, and once you have a rival in this sense, especially if it's someone that you're not necessarily actual friends with, all I could think about was destroying them all over the Christmas period. Merry Christmas. What year was that? 2013. Merry Christmas 2013. What an amazing time I had. But yeah, it got to the point where I'd reduced this incredibly, like I loved that game, I thought it was brilliant. And then there was just like a certain amount of time where just I had to do, everything was like methodical, had like every like strategy for every level planned out, everything was timed down to like a few seconds. And yeah, there would be that moment of like, well, I've messed this up, and that took half an hour. Am I doing this again? Is that half an hour just over forever? Like, am I just gonna, and there's that part of me which is like, go and just do something else. And there's part of me which is like, well, I have to destroy that person online, don't I? So I'm gonna carry on playing. And that was I don't think I've gone that far since, but that was certainly a moment where only perfection was good enough.
Oh, do you know what I'm looking forward to? We're obviously gonna need to show this.
I'm not gonna be capturing it.
Come on, I want to see you do it.
Well, I'll just be there all day.
That's fine.
And it's a long time since I played it, so,
you just get furious.
I'm gonna, yeah.
Just that beginning bit, just the bit you've described. Okay. I want to see that happen.
I'll come off cover like clumsily and just be furious. For God's sake!
Smash everything in the office.
Okay, hands up who actually wants a special stream of Rob playing through this bit of the game. You know what? I'll pin a comment, and if you get it to 500 likes, we'll make it happen. Tell us in the comments about the games that turn you into perfectionist monsters. Give us a like if you enjoyed this video, and please give that notification bell a click to stay bang up to date with everything on the channel.
For the players.